First up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny is one of the most famous coins ever made in the history of American money, and its story starts during the time of World War II, when copper was urgently needed for war supplies, and because of this, the 1-cent coin was made from steel coated with zinc for only 1 year, which instantly made it different from every other wheat penny ever produced. When people first see a 1943 steel penny, they're often surprised by its silver gray color, and many believe it must be rare or extremely valuable. But the truth is that a very large number of these coins were made, and most of them entered everyday circulation, where they were used heavily and became worn, dirty, and damaged over time. If your coin is dated 1943 and has no mint mark under the date, then it was made in Philadelphia, and this version is the most common of all 1943 steel pennies, especially in dirty condition, with dark spots, rust stains, scratches, worn letters, and an overall dull appearance, which clearly shows that the coin circulated for many years. The front of the coin shows Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the date clearly visible, while the back shows 2 wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. And because the coin is made of steel, it feels lighter than a normal copper penny, and it will stick to a magnet, which is one of the easiest ways to identify a real steel penny. Over the years, the thin zinc coating on these coins often wore away, and once the steel underneath was exposed, it reacted with air and moisture, causing rust, discoloration, and corrosion. And this is the main reason why so many 1943 steel pennies today look dirty and unattractive compared to other Lincoln wheat cents. Now, coming to the most important part, the value of a dirty 1943 Lincoln wheat steel penny without a mint mark in today's market in dollar. And this is where many people feel disappointed because despite its unique look, this coin is very common in circulated condition. In today's market, a heavily worn, dirty example with corrosion, dark stains, and weak details is usually worth around 50 cents to $2, and coins that are extremely rough or badly rusted may sell for less than $1, especially if the date or design is hard to see. If the coin is still dirty but the date and main details are clear and there are no holes or heavy rust damage, then its value can reach around $2 to $5, depending on overall appearance and buyer interest, but it is still considered a common collectible and not a rare treasure. It is very important to explain to viewers that the extremely valuable 1943 pennies they hear online are not steel pennies. Those rare coins are bronze errors that look like normal copper pennies, and they are completely different from the silver-gray steel cents. Those rare errors are worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, but a dirty steel penny does not fall into that category. Cleaning a dirty 1943 steel penny will not increase its value and can actually reduce it because collectors prefer coins in original condition, even if they are dark, worn, or stained, so it is always better to leave the coin as it is. Even though a dirty 1943 steel penny without a mint mark is not highly valuable, it still has historical importance because it represents a unique wartime decision, and it's the only regular Lincoln wheat cent made of steel, which makes it interesting for collectors and beginners. You can end the video by telling viewers that while this coin will not make them rich, it is still a fascinating piece of history and a great reminder of how world events can change even the smallest everyday objects, and encourage them to check their old coins and follow the channel for more honest coin value videos and real market information. The 1920 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a classic early 20th century coin that attracts collectors because it represents a period when American coins were still made from solid bronze and used daily in an expanding economy after the First World War. This coin was struck in Philadelphia, which is why there is no mint mark under the date. And during that year, millions of pennies were produced, but most entered circulation immediately and were heavily used, which makes surviving examples in good condition more desirable today. On the front of the coin, you see Abraham Lincoln facing right with strong, clear lettering, When the coin is in good condition, the date 1920 is bold and easy to read, and Lincoln's coat and facial details are still visible without being flat or weak. On the back of the coin, the famous wheat ears surround the words 1 cent and United States of America. And in a good condition example, the wheat lines are still defined and not completely worn smooth, which is an important detail collectors look for. A good condition wheat penny means the coin shows honest wear from circulation, but still retains most of its major details. There are no deep scratches, no heavy corrosion, and no damage that distracts from the overall appearance. The color is usually brown or dark brown with a natural aged look. Now, let us talk about value in today's market, in dollars, because this is what most people want to know. A 1920 wheat penny without a mint mark in good condition is not extremely rare, but it is clearly more valuable than common later-date wheat cents. In today's coin market, a 1920 no mint mark wheat penny in good condition is commonly worth between $1 and $3 depending on eye appeal, color, and strength of details. Coins that are darker but even and clean often sell closer to the higher end of that range. If the coin has slightly better detail, still qualifying as good condition, but approaching very good, it may reach around $4, especially if the wheat ears and Lincoln's portrait are well defined and the coin has not been cleaned. Coins that show spots, heavy discoloration, or signs of cleaning usually sell for less because collectors prefer original surfaces, even if the coin is worn. Cleaning almost always reduces value instead of increasing it. It is also important to explain to viewers that the most valuable wheat pennies are usually rare dates, mint mark varieties, or major errors. The 1920 Philadelphia penny is valued mainly for its age and condition rather than rarity. Still, this coin holds steady collector interest because it is over 100 years old and part of the classic wheat cent series, which many collectors try to complete by date and mint mark. For someone starting a collection, this coin is a solid piece because it offers history, affordability, and steady demand, and it fits perfectly into a Lincoln wheat penny album without requiring a large investment. You can encourage viewers to check their old jars, boxes, and inherited collections because many people overlook wheat pennies, not realizing that even common dates from the early 1900s can still be worth several times face value. Next up, the 1955 Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark is a classic coin from the final years of the wheat cent series, and it attracts attention because many people connect the year 1955 with rare pennies and big money stories. But it is very important to understand the real history and real market value, especially when the coin is in dirty condition. This coin was struck in Denver in the mid-1950s during a time when the United States economy was growing and millions of pennies were produced for everyday use. The obverse shows Abraham Lincoln facing right with strong, simple design elements, while the reverse still carries the famous wheat ears design that had been used since 1909, making it one of the last traditional wheat pennies before the design changed in 1958. If you have a 1955 D wheat penny that looks dark, stained, scratched, worn, or dirty, it means the coin has circulated for many years. Dirt, grease, oxidation, and environmental damage build up over time, and this kind of condition is very common for pennies from this era, especially those kept loose in jars, pockets, or drawers. Many viewers confuse the 1955 D penny with the famous 1955 doubled die penny, and this is where you must clearly educate your audience. The extremely valuable doubled die penny was made in Philadelphia and has no mint mark. A 1955 penny with a D mint mark is not part of that famous error and does not carry the same high value, even if it is old or dirty. In dirty, circulated condition, the details on Lincoln's face are usually worn, the wheat lines on the back are flat, and the surfaces may appear brown, black, or uneven. This greatly affects value because collectors prefer coins with clear details and original surfaces without heavy damage. Now let us talk honestly about coin value in today's market. In dollar terms, a 1955 Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark in dirty, circulated condition is considered a common coin. Millions were minted, and many still exist today, so the value is usually modest. In most cases, a heavily dirty, worn example is worth about $1 to $2, depending on how readable the date and lettering are. If the coin has strong corrosion, heavy scratches, or damage, the value can drop closer to 50 cents, and sometimes it may only sell as part of a bulk wheat penny lot. If the coin is dirty but still has decent detail and no major damage, it may reach around $2 to $5, especially if someone needs it to complete a date and mint set. But this is still the upper end for a circulated, dirty example. It is also very important to explain that cleaning the coin does not increase its value. Cleaning actually removes original surfaces and often makes the coin less desirable to collectors. So a dirty but original penny is always better than a shiny, cleaned one. You can also mention that higher values are only seen when the coin is in very fine or uncirculated condition, or when it has a genuine mint error, but those cases are rare and require careful inspection and confirmation. For beginners, this coin is still a great learning piece. It teaches the difference between hype and real value. It shows how condition affects price, and it represents an important era in American coinage history as one of the last wheat pennies ever made. To help viewers identify their coin, advise them to check the date carefully. Look for the small D mint mark below the date, and understand that normal worn appearance is expected for a coin this old. End the video by reminding viewers that a 1955 D Lincoln wheat penny in dirty condition will not make them rich, but it still holds historical value and modest collector interest, and encourage them to learn more about coin grading, errors, and market prices so they can make informed decisions and continue enjoying coin collecting as a rewarding hobby. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most important and interesting coins in United States coin history because it marks the return to copper after the famous steel cents of World War II, and many people search for this coin today, hoping they might own a valuable example, especially one without a mint mark in good condition. In 1944, the war was still ongoing, but the government decided to change the 1-cent coin back to a copper-based metal, using recycled copper from wartime materials, and this decision created a penny that looks very similar to earlier wheat cents, but has a powerful historical background tied directly to the war years. A 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was struck in Philadelphia, and these coins were produced in very large numbers, which means they are not rare in general, but condition plays a very big role in determining value, and that is why a good condition example can still be worth more than face value today. When showing this coin in your video, explain the design clearly. The front shows Abraham Lincoln facing right with strong details in the hair, cheek, and jawline in better condition coins, and the back shows 2 wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America, and in good condition, the wheat lines are visible and not completely flat. A good condition coin usually means moderate wear from circulation, but all major details are still visible. The date is clear, the lettering is readable, and there is no major damage like deep scratches, holes, bends, or heavy corrosion. The surface may have some dirt or toning, but overall the coin still looks solid and original. Now, coming to the most important part, the value in today's market in dollar for a 1944 no mint mark wheat penny in good condition, and this is where realistic expectations are very important for viewers. In today's coin market, a 1944 no mint mark wheat penny in good circulated condition is commonly worth around 10 cents to 30 cents, and coins that are slightly better with stronger details and nicer color can sell for about 50 cents to $1 depending on eye appeal and demand. If the coin is in very nice good condition, close to very fine with minimal wear, it may reach $1 to $2, but this usually requires clean surfaces, clear details, and no problems like harsh cleaning or damage. It is also important to explain that many online listings show very high prices, but those are often asking prices, not actual selling prices, and most ordinary 1944 wheat pennies trade for modest amounts because so many were made. You should also educate viewers about rare varieties connected to this year. The truly valuable 1944 pennies are the steel era versions, which were accidentally struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943. Those coins are extremely rare and worth thousands of dollars, but they are magnetic and silver gray, not copper-colored. A normal copper-colored 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark in good condition is not one of those rare errors and should not be confused them. Honesty in explaining this builds trust with your audience. Another important point to mention is cleaning. Cleaning a wheat penny almost always reduces its value. Collectors prefer original surfaces, even if they are slightly dirty, because cleaning removes metal and damages the natural look of the coin. For collectors, the 1944 wheat penny is still a great coin to own because it represents the transition period during the war and completes date sets of Lincoln wheat cents, and many people enjoy collecting it for history rather than profit. Encourage viewers to check their own coins carefully. Look at the date, check for a mint mark under the date, and examine the condition honestly, and remind them that small differences in wear can change value slightly, but most examples remain affordable. End the video by telling viewers that while a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in good condition will not make them rich, it still holds real value as a historical collectible and a reminder of wartime America, and invite them to like, comment, and subscribe for more honest coin value videos and real information about wheat pennies and other collectible coins. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is a very important coin in American history because it represents the return to copper after the unusual steel cents of 1943. And this change happened while World War II was still ongoing, which makes the story behind this coin very interesting for collectors and history lovers alike. In 1944, the United States Mint stopped using steel and went back to copper-based metal for the 1-cent coin, using recycled shell casings and other wartime copper materials. And this is why many people say the 1944 penny is literally made from the leftovers of war, and that alone gives this coin a strong historical connection. If you have a 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, it means the coin was produced in Philadelphia, and these were made in very large numbers, so this date and mint combination is one of the most common wheat pennies found today, especially in circulated condition. When the coin is in full dirty and damaged condition, the appearance usually includes heavy wear on Lincoln's face, flat details on the wheat ears, dark brown or black surfaces, stains, scratches, rim damage, and sometimes small corrosion spots. And this tells us the coin spent many years in circulation, being used in everyday transactions. For the front of the coin, you can show Abraham Lincoln facing right with the date 1944 below and the word Liberty on the left. And in damaged condition, these details may be weak or partially worn, but usually still readable. And on the back, the two wheat ears surround the words 1 cent and United States of America, which may also appear flat and worn on a heavily used coin. Now coming to the most important part, coin value in today's market in dollars. And this is where honesty is very important because many people believe any old wheat penny is valuable, but condition plays a huge role in pricing. A 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark in full dirty and damaged condition is considered very common, and in today's market its value is usually very low. Most examples in heavy wear with damage, scratches, or dark surfaces are generally worth around 5 cents to 25 cents, which is just slightly above face value. If the coin is extremely damaged, bent, holed, or deeply corroded, then its value may stay very close to 1 cent, and collectors may not be interested at all, except as a filler coin for a basic wheat penny set. But this is not guaranteed and depends on buyer interest. It is also very important to explain to viewers that cleaning a damaged and dirty 1944 penny will not increase its value. Cleaning almost always makes the coin less desirable, and collectors prefer original surfaces even if they are dark, worn, or ugly. You should also clearly mention that the truly valuable 1944 pennies are rare error coins or special varieties, such as steel planchet mistakes, or coins in extremely high uncirculated condition, and those are completely different from a normal, dirty, and damaged circulated penny. A regular 1944 copper penny without a mint mark that is dirty and damaged does not fall into the rare category and should not be confused with high-value auction coins seen online. For collectors, this coin still has educational and historical value because it shows the transition from steel back to copper, and it's a great example of how world events can directly affect everyday money. You can encourage viewers to keep their coin as a learning piece and to always check condition carefully before expecting high value, and remind them that real coin collecting is about history, patience, and knowledge, not just money. Next up, the 1938 Lincoln wheat penny is an important coin in American coin history because it represents the final year of the famous wheat reverse design before the change to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959, and because of this, many collectors pay special attention to this date, even though it is not extremely rare. This coin was struck in 1938 during the late years of the Great Depression, when the United States was slowly recovering and everyday coins like the Lincoln cent were used heavily by the public for basic purchases, which is why finding higher condition examples today is more difficult than people expect. A 1938 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was made in Philadelphia and large numbers were produced, but condition is what separates common low-value pieces from more desirable collector coins, and this is where the extra fine condition becomes important. Extra fine condition means the coin still shows strong detail on Abraham Lincoln's face, with clear hairlines visible above the ear and behind the head. The cheek and jawline show light wear but are not flat, and the wheat ears on the reverse still have sharp lines, with only minor smoothing on the highest points. In extra fine condition, the coin should not have heavy scratches, deep marks, corrosion, or damage, and the color is usually a natural brown or light brown tone that developed over many years of careful storage rather than heavy circulation. When showing this coin in your video, explain the design clearly. Lincoln facing right on the front with the date 1938 visible and readable, and the words Liberty and In God We Trust still strong on the surface. On the back, 2 wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, which makes this design instantly recognizable to collectors around the world. Now, coming to value in today's market in dollars, and this is the part most viewers want to hear. A 1938 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition is considered a solid collector coin, but not a rare treasure. In today's market, this coin typically sells in the range of about $1 to $3, depending on eye appeal, color, and how close it is to almost uncirculated condition. Coins with strong detail, clean surfaces, and attractive color can sometimes reach $4 or slightly more, but this is usually the upper end for raw coins. If the coin shows darker color spots, fingerprints, or light stains, but still qualifies as extra fine, then it may stay closer to the $1 to $2 range, and this is normal and expected in the current market. It is important to explain honestly that while this coin is called valuable in the sense of collector interest, it is not a high-priced coin like key date wheat pennies, and its value comes from condition, history, and demand rather than extreme rarity. Collectors like this coin because it completes the wheat penny era and because extra fine examples are much harder to find than heavily worn ones that spent decades in circulation. You should also explain to viewers that cleaning this coin will reduce its value, even if it looks dirty to the owner. Collectors prefer original surfaces and natural color, and once a coin is cleaned, it loses collector appeal and market value. For people holding a 1938 wheat penny without a mint mark, the best approach is to keep it safely stored in a holder, avoid touching the surface with bare fingers, and enjoy it as a classic piece of American coinage history. This coin may not change your life financially, but it represents the end of an era and holds steady value in the collector market, which is why it remains popular among beginners and experienced collectors alike. Next up, the 1943 Lincoln Wheat Steel penny with the D mint mark is one of the most recognizable wartime coins in United States history, and its story begins during World War II when copper was needed for military use. So the 1-cent coin was made from steel coated with zinc for 1 year only. And this change created a silver-gray penny that looks very different from all other Lincoln cents. The D mint mark shows that the coin was struck in Denver, and this small letter below the date is very important for collectors because it helps identify where the coin was made and how many were produced compared to other mints. And even though millions were struck, the Denver issue is still very popular among collectors because of its history and unique metal. In this video, you can explain the design clearly for viewers by describing the front of the coin with Abraham Lincoln facing to the right with strong facial details visible in extra fine condition, such as clear hairlines, sharp jaw, and defined cheek. And the date, 1943, is bold and easy to read, while the D mint mark appears just below the date. On the reverse side, 2 wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. And in extra fine condition, the wheat lines are mostly sharp with only light wear on the highest points, which makes this condition very desirable compared to heavily worn or damaged examples. Because this coin is made from steel, it is lighter than a normal copper penny, and it will stick to a magnet. And this is an important identification tip for viewers to confirm that their coin is a real steel cent and not a plated or altered piece. Extra fine condition means the coin has seen limited circulation and still shows strong details across the design with only minor wear. And this level of preservation greatly affects the value because many steel pennies suffered corrosion, rust, or heavy wear over time, and finding one in extra fine condition is more difficult than finding a dirty or worn example. Now, coming to coin value in today's market in dollar terms, a 1943 steel penny with D mint mark in extra fine condition is worth more than common circulated examples, but it is still affordable for most collectors. In the current market, an extra fine 1943 D steel penny typically sells in the range of $10 to $20, depending on eye appeal, surface quality, and remaining original zinc coating. Coins with bright original color and no rust spots often sell at the higher end of this range, while coins with light spotting or dull surfaces may sell closer to the lower end. You should explain clearly that this value is for normal steel pennies and not for rare errors, and that the extremely valuable 1943 pennies people hear about online are bronze error coins, which are copper in color and extremely rare, and those are completely different from steel cents. Collectors like the 1943 D steel penny in extra fine condition because it represents a historic moment when the United States changed coin materials during wartime, and it is also a key part of a complete Lincoln wheat cent collection. It is important to tell viewers not to clean or polish the coin because cleaning removes original surfaces and can lower the value even if the coin looks shiny after cleaning, and collectors always prefer original condition. For anyone thinking about selling this coin, you can suggest showing clear photos of both sides, good lighting, close-up shots of the date and mint mark, and an honest description of the condition, because transparency helps buyers trust the listing and get a fair price. Next up, the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny with an S mint mark is one of the most interesting coins from the late wheat cent series, and it carries both historical significance and collector appeal. The coin was minted in San Francisco, and the S mint mark indicates its origin, making it a sought-after coin for collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents or wheat pennies. In 1940, the United States was emerging from the Great Depression and approaching a period of global conflict. Coins from this era not only represent currency, but also a connection to the social and economic history of the time. The 1940 S Lincoln wheat penny features the familiar design by Victor David Brenner. On the obverse side is the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty on the left and the date 1940 on the right just below the rim. The S mint mark is located just below the date. The reverse features the iconic wheat ears design that surrounds the words 1 cent and United States of America. The wheat ears were a design used from 1909 to 1958 and symbolize the nation's agricultural heritage. In extra-fine condition, the details of Lincoln's face, coat, and the lines of the wheat stalks remain sharp and clearly defined, showing minimal wear from circulation. The coin retains a pleasing reddish-brown or golden-brown tone that enhances its eye appeal and makes it desirable among collectors. When it comes to value, a 1940 Lincoln wheat penny in extra-fine condition commands more interest than lower-grade circulated examples. Coins in circulated condition with heavy wear are quite common and sell for just a few dollars, but an extra-fine example with strong details and minimal marks can be valued significantly higher. Current market trends and price guides indicate that a 1940 Lincoln wheat penny in extra-fine condition can sell in the range of $40 to $60, depending on the exact quality, eye appeal, and market demand. Coins that are certified by professional grading services may reach higher values, particularly if they show excellent luster and original color. Collectors should pay attention to the coin's surfaces for scratches, discoloration, or cleaning marks, as these factors can affect the value even in higher grades. Authenticity is straightforward for this coin, as the steel or bronze composition and the S mint mark make identification simple, but careful examination of the date and details ensures that it is indeed a 1940 rather than a later or altered coin. Using magnification to examine Lincoln's jawline, cheek, and the fine lines of the wheat stalks can help confirm the grade and overall quality. The 1940 Lincoln wheat penny is also important to coin enthusiasts because it represents a period when the San Francisco Mint produced fewer pennies than the Philadelphia Mint, creating a slight scarcity that adds to collector interest. Its historical context, combined with the quality of preservation in extra-fine condition, makes it a desirable piece for both new and experienced collectors. When collecting or selling, it's recommended to handle the coin carefully by the edges and avoid cleaning it. Coins that retain original surfaces and toning tend to hold their value better. If selling, researching recent auction results and market listings can help determine a fair price. Coins in extra-fine condition are often sold through reputable coin dealers, auctions, or private collectors, and realistic pricing ensures a smooth transaction. Overall, the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny in extra-fine condition holds a market value today of approximately $40 to $60 and offers collectors a well-preserved example of one of the most recognizable designs in American numismatics. Its historical significance, San Francisco Mint origin, and clear details give it a premium over common circulated coins. This coin is a great addition to any Lincoln cent collection and provides insight into the production and design standards of the United States Mint during the early 20th century. Collectors who acquire such coins enjoy owning a piece of American history that remains tangible and historically significant more than 80 years after it was minted. This coin's story connects the everyday use of currency with the broader historical narrative of America in 1940. It serves as a reminder of the economic and social conditions of the time and illustrates how coin collecting can preserve history in a physical form. For anyone interested in Lincoln wheat pennies, finding a 1940 in extra-fine condition is a rewarding achievement that reflects both patience and an eye for quality coins. In conclusion, the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny in extra-fine condition holds a market value today of approximately $40 to $60 and offers collectors a well-preserved example of one of the most recognizable designs in American numismatics. Its historical significance, San Francisco Mint origin, and clear details give it a premium over common circulated coins. Collectors should focus on careful handling, proper storage, and verification of grade to maintain and potentially increase the coin's value over time. Next up, the 1952 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a classic example of a mid-20th century American coin that many people overlook, even though it carries solid historical importance and steady collector demand. This coin was struck during a time when the United States was recovering from World War II and moving into a new economic era, and millions of these pennies were produced for everyday use across the country. This penny was made in Philadelphia, which is why there is no mint mark under the date, and it features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, with strong, clear lines when the coin is well preserved. On the back, the two wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, which is why collectors call these wheat pennies. An extra fine condition 1952 wheat penny without a mint mark shows light wear only on the highest points of the design. Lincoln's cheek, jaw, and coat still show good detail, and the wheat ears on the reverse are sharp with most lines visible. The coin should not be heavily scratched, bent, or corroded, and the overall color is usually an even brown or light reddish-brown tone, depending on storage and age. For your video, it is important to explain to viewers that condition matters more than age alone. Many 1952 pennies exist, but only a smaller number survived in extra fine condition because most were used heavily in circulation for decades. Coins in this grade are attractive to collectors who want quality without paying premium uncirculated prices. Now let us talk clearly about value in today's market. In dollars, an extra fine condition 1952 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is generally worth around 75 cents to $1.50, depending on eye appeal, color, and sharpness of details. A very nice extra fine example with strong wheat lines and minimal marks can sometimes reach close to $2 in a private sale or collector market. Coins that lean closer to almost uncirculated appearance with only slight friction may sell at the higher end of the range, while coins that barely qualify as extra fine may sell closer to $1. This makes it a modest but respectable collectible that is affordable and easy to sell. It is also important to tell viewers that this coin is not considered rare in the sense of high-dollar coins, but it is valuable as part of a complete wheat penny collection, and it represents the final decade of the wheat cent series before the design changed in 1959. Many people mistakenly believe all old pennies are worth big money, and your video can help correct that misunderstanding by giving honest information. A 1952 no mint mark wheat penny in extra fine condition will not make someone rich, but it does have real market value and steady demand among collectors. You should also explain that cleaning this coin can reduce its value. Collectors prefer original surfaces, even if they show natural aging. Wiping, polishing, or using chemicals can lower the price significantly. This coin is best stored in a dry holder away from moisture and fingerprints to protect its condition and value. And for beginners, it's an excellent example of how condition and preservation affect coin prices more than just the date alone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you in next time. Happy collecting! Next up, the 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny is an important coin in the history of American coinage, and it has a story that connects everyday life to a major period of history. During World War II, the United States Mint returned to using copper for the 1 cent coin because the steel pennies of 1943 had caused problems with corrosion in circulation, and so in 1944, most 1 cent coins were struck on recycled shell casings from the war effort, which gives the 1944 copper penny a unique origin and makes it interesting to collectors today. If you have a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, it means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark on pennies at that time. The coin shows Abraham Lincoln on the obverse facing right, with the date 1944 clearly visible, and the words Liberty and In God We Trust surrounding him. On the reverse are the two wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, which is the classic wheat penny design used from 1909 to 1958. The black color shade condition of a 1944 penny means the coin has darkened over time due to oxidation or environmental factors. The surface may show black toning patches that are natural for copper coins that have circulated for decades. The black shade can make the details harder to see, and collectors often describe this as a lower-grade circulated condition. Even with this darker tone, the coin still has historical significance because it represents the transition back to copper pennies after the steel cents of 1943. In terms of value in today's market, in dollars, a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in black color shade condition is considered common. Many circulated coins of this year are readily available in old coin collections and on the market, and their value reflects this commonality. Typically, a black circulated 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is worth around 5 cents to 50 cents, depending on how dark the coin is and how much wear it has. If the coin shows heavy wear or corrosion, the value is usually at the lower end, near 5 cents, whereas coins that show clearer detail, even with black toning, can reach 50 cents. It is important to note that the value can increase substantially for coins that are in better condition or have been certified by professional grading services. Coins that retain original color or have minimal wear can sell for several dollars, and rare error varieties from 1944, such as double dies or repunched mint marks, can be worth much more, but these are extremely uncommon and should be authenticated by experts. Collectors should also be careful when buying or selling these coins because the black toning can sometimes hide surface damage or alterations. Coins that appear black might have been artificially darkened, and such modifications can affect the value significantly. Natural black toning that occurs over decades is generally accepted by collectors, whereas cleaning or chemical treatment lowers collector appeal. If anyone is interested in examining their 1944 penny, it is helpful to look at the coin under good lighting to see the date and design features clearly. Check for wear on Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and the wheat stalks on the reverse. Observe the edges and rim for dents or nicks, and note the overall surface texture. The weight of a copper penny from 1944 is approximately 3.11 grams, and it is not magnetic, unlike the steel cents of 1943, which is another way to verify authenticity. The black circulated 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is still a valuable teaching coin for those new to collecting. It illustrates how coins can change color over time, how circulation affects detail, and how historical events like World War II influenced coinage. It's an accessible coin for beginners to own and study without spending much money. In conclusion, while a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in black color shade condition is not rare or highly valuable in dollars, it remains an important part of American numismatic history. Its connection to the war effort and the transition back to copper makes it a coin worth holding and showing to others. Collectors often keep these coins as part of a complete date set or as a reference for grading practice. Encourage viewers to examine their own coins, check the date, study the design, and appreciate the history behind even common pennies, and remind them that the true value of such coins lies not only in dollars, but also in their story and place in history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you next time. Happy collecting!